Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news. Joining BJ Rains today is KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's Mike Prater. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame, weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, here's Mike Prater and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
I'm not sure why, but Matt Bauscher walking off the private plane with his Cutwater in hand, putting his hands up, maybe the best part of that new intro there. But appreciate Colin Mitchell for putting that together. Mike Prater is here, Bronco Nation News Live. As you see on our graphic, we're debuting a new template for the show today. You can see we got our new deal with Cutwater Spirits. So they are the studio sponsors. They now get a little signage on screen here. So we're broadcasting from the Cutwater Studios. We've got Mike Prater, KTIK, The Ticket. You hear him every day, 3 to 6. You know him, you love him. With John Mallory, Mike with JP, Bob, the whole gang. So Prater, switching it up on a Wednesday today, kind of shuffling some things around, but appreciate you being flexible. How's it going?
Well, it's not going too bad, but that was you told a lie already 30 seconds into the show. Everybody loves Prater. Come on. I just want like one person today to love me, not everybody. So, but let's see if we can get both of us a lot of love today, huh? That's
my line whenever I meet somebody that says they love listening to my shows and stuff. I said, "Oh, you're the one. Thank you. I appreciate that." So
just need one.
But no, we got a lot to get to today, and we haven't really talked to you, since last Thursday when Omar Stanley obviously committed on Friday, and then Leon Rice talk. So I know you guys been all over that on Idaho Sports Talk, and we've had Johnny and Tuss on the last 2 days to kind of give thoughts and things like that. But I kind of want to, I feel like this is kind of right up your alley, like more. Like, why stop now? Keep going. And I have kind of made the decision, and I'm going to write a column on this, but I think I want one more. I want one more for this super team. I don't know how it's going to work with the scholarships. I don't know how it's going to work with making everybody fit. Does it tick off somebody else and they decide to transfer out, and that opens up the spot there? But I tweeted it over the weekend, confirmed that Dawson Baker, a shooting guard, combo guard from UC Irvine, is going to visit Boise State early next week. And I talked to him briefly, just chatted through Instagram direct messages, and he confirmed that he is coming. And he said, "Hey, man, they got a chance to do some historic things the next 2 years, and that would be fun to be a part of." And he's got a final list of BYU, Utah State, and Boise State, and he's planning to visit all 4 schools, scheduled to be in Boise early next week. I guess initially, Mike, when you think of the 3 players they've added, before we get into Dawson Baker, just in general, the 3 players they've added, the fact that they are now technically at 13 scholarships, where are you with the roster as currently constructed? And, if we want to debate whether it's the super team or not, but just what they've done so far, where are you right now with this roster?
Yeah, it's certainly not a super team, but it could develop into a super team. And I like what Leon Rice has done with this roster. I mean, the super team to me is, you still have to have the rim protector. A super team's pretty elite and very elite, especially when you're just talking about paper. You can become a super team next March with 5 point guards if you had to. But I'd like to have seen a rim protector. Dawson Baker, it is Dawson Baker, right? I'm still trying to figure out this guy. Yeah, Dawson Baker. Oh, is he he's a combo guard, more of a combo guard than a point guard?
Yep, not a point guard, more of a shooting guard, wing player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bringing him in for depth, that's certainly a big part of Leon Rice's super team. So I'm with you, especially in life. The more the merrier. Bring it on. Let's keep this sucker going. More. And if they can completely revamp this roster, that's exciting. Leon Rice is winning the offseason. Leon Rice is creating basketball buzz in April and May around here, which is very, very rare. The Dawson Baker thing, at this point, it seems like he's got the NFL draft mentality, which is 8 days away. Just go get the best damn player available. And maybe Dawson Baker is the best damn player available. It would still be nice if they can get in a 6'10", 6'11", rim protector, but I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. I can't believe I'm going to say this, BJ, but in Leon we trust, and I think he's kind of doing some of the right things.
Well, again, currently they're at the 13 scholarship limit, so something would have to happen. But my understanding is you have until basically June when the players show up, Mike, to worry about that. So you can theoretically add a player and have 14 players locked up for next season. But until they all get back on campus, you got time to figure that out, and it might play itself out. But I think Dawson Baker would be a massive addition to this team. I mean, you look at a guy like that and his stats. Mike Prater, I mean, this is not some guy that would just come in and be a 7th or 8th player. He might start. I mean, he's that good. He averaged 15 points a game for a UC Irvine team that won 23 games. I mean, he was the Big West Freshman of the Year a couple years ago, has continued to get better. He's averaged double figures, I believe, all 3 years he's played at UC Irvine, started 35 games last year and averaged 15 points a game. And, he scored double figures in 2 games against Mountain West teams last year. He went to Viejas Arena and scored 14 points. Had 12 points against, Fresno State. I mean, I think he is a guy that would definitely take a lot of the load off Max Rice, off Chibuzo Abo. If you could theoretically have a 3-way, situation where those 3 guys combine for 2 spots and you have 80 minutes between them and they each get 26 minutes a game, essentially, and then on different nights with foul trouble or the hot hand, whatever, you mix it around. If he can fill in with those 2 guys, if you have Jace Whiting to fill in the minutes when Roddy's on the bench as the backup point, and then if you do the same thing down in the post, really, with the 3 guys rotating down there, you've got an 8-man bench, which was already more than last year. Plus, that's not even talking about, sprinkling in the minutes for Meadow and Keene and some of these other guys. Maybe a Mo Silla gets a couple minutes here and there. I don't know, Mike. They're obviously going down this path. If he's visiting Boise State, they are very serious about trying to find a way to make this work. You don't pay the money like Boise State to bring a kid on a visit if you're not, for sure you would take him and really, really want him. And I've watched some of the tape. I've looked at the stats. This is not just some depth guy for me. He would be a massive piece to this team. And if you're able to get him, and all of a sudden you're at it, you're having Omar Stanley and potentially Dawson Baker or whoever, as your first couple of guys coming in off the bench. I mean, and who knows? He could start. He's that good of a player. I think this significantly changes the outlook of this team because at the guard position, Mike, nothing against RJ Keene, nothing against Andrew Meadow, Kobe Young. I think we all expect big things out of these guys, but RJ Keene and Andrew Meadow have played as many college minutes as you and I have. I mean, it's to bring in a guy that's played 27 minutes a game and started 35 games at UC Irvine last year. I think would make this team maybe be the favorites in the Mountain West next year.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm that high on this guy. I mean, I like the fact that they're recruiting him. I like the fact that they're bringing him, but you just said he would significantly change the roster and automatically maybe make them he's not that much of a difference maker, BJ. Is he really? I mean, he could come in and be a role player, be a depth player, share some starts, maybe share some time with Max, create some kind of leverage on the bench and get some stuff done. But I don't think a guy like Dawson Baker, just from what I'm seeing on paper and a little bit of video, he's good. And I want Leon to bring him in because depth is a big part of this, but I don't think he's going to significantly make Boise State better. I'll even go one step further and play Prater devil advocate. I got an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. Not all transfers work out. Not all incoming recruits work out. Maybe next week's show should be, okay, they brought in 3 or 4 transfers. Which one's not going to work out? Because statistically, that's the facts. And of these incoming recruits, which one's not going to work out? And maybe not so much the young recruits not working out, but just not being contributors for the first year or two, being slow in terms of their development because Leon Rice does have a pretty good roster and it's hard to crack that roster. That's a good problem to have. So I don't want to jump too hard down on Dawson Baker, but I don't see him completely changing this basketball team I think at the sum of the parts and what Leon Rice has done, and he's being aggressive. I think you would agree. To me, this is the first time he's won the offseason. What did I tell you last year on the day of the season opener? I was so disappointed in Leon Rice for not taking advantage of that previous year and creating depth with his basketball team. Leon Rice has blown that away this year. He's got the depth. He's got the excitement. I think he's doing all the right things, but Dawson Baker does not significantly change his team. And at one point, we do have to have a conversation about which one of these guys aren't working out.
Yeah, that's fair. What shirt you got on there below the vest there, Mike Prater? Come on, what do we got?
It's a nice red shirt. It's a very cute red shirt. I significantly hit all the logos. I hit all the logos.
He switches to Wednesday, and all of a sudden he becomes even crotchier, Mike Prater. Come on.
I forgot to wear this shirt today. So leave me alone. You're making me blush.
If Lee Marks were still here, you'd be kicked out of the football facility for wearing a red shirt. But
I do remember that. I remember once when one of my reporters at the Statesman showed up at a Dan Hawkins football press conference wearing a golf hat, and Dan Hawkins called him out for wearing a golf hat to a football press conference.
Oh, wow. How about that? I just think, and again, I guess part of this is we don't know how good RJ Keene's going to be this year. We don't know. We hear a lot about Andrew Meadow. We don't know how good he's going to be this year. Yep. I would think that you'd rather have the proven guy that at this level has done it and scored in double figures, 3 years in a row, to pencil in there as a guy that could play 20 minutes a game, as opposed to someone that you're hoping as a freshman is ready to play, or a guy that hasn't played in 2 years due to an injury and a red shirt. So I just think that, if you could add a guy like that, that's a double-digit scorer, maybe Keene is that guy. Maybe Meadow is that guy. I don't know. But based on production, you could say he would be the most impressive of the 4 additions they've added to the roster, frankly. If you go look at the other 3 guys that they've added, Cam Martin, I think they like, but we obviously know his past a couple of years. Omar Stanley started 17 games, I guess, at a higher level, St. John's, and did some things as well. Roddy Anderson was a freshman last year, did some nice things at UC San Diego, but Dawson Baker is 2 years older and has had better stats all 3 years. So, I just think he would. I don't think he's some extra guy that would be the 4th guy. I think if you're ranking the transfers, he would be maybe the best one they would have gotten so far.
Wow. Keep pushing that. I'd like to make that happen. I'd like to push for Omar Stanley. And I know you've talked to him, and your interview with him was awesome. We got him here on Idaho Sports Talk. He was awesome. Huh?
Cool guy.
I'm big into this guy. First of all, he's got a cool last name. I have a puppy named Stanley. My favorite town in Idaho is Stanley. The greatest sports trophy in America, in the world, is the Stanley Cup. Stanley Kubrick is one of the great Hollywood film directors. And here comes Omar Stanley, one of my favorite Boise State basketball players of all time, just because of his name. And I asked him, I said, if you come here, can you hang out with my puppy a little bit? And he called himself a street dog from Queens. So I like this guy's mentality. I like his pedigree and his background. I like his body frame. Just a really cool character. We talked for 5 minutes on the phone, and it seemed like we were best friends at the end. I think he's got that kind of infectious personality, which is beautiful chemistry in the locker room. I'm going to fight you over Omar Stanley. I want him to be my favorite recruit. You can have Dawson Baker.
Well, they got to get him first. No, actually, my favorite one's going to be Cam Martin, obviously, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. But
there you go.
I just think that, I just feel like it would be, in my opinion, based on the stats and things, he would be a massive addition to the team. When you've already got 3 transfers and you've already got people saying you're borderline top 25 as it is, and you add a 15-point-a-game scorer to the mix. I mean, that's stuff that like San Diego State does, and that's stuff that I don't think Boise. I mean, the fact that Dawson Baker is even considering Boise State at this point tells you, in my opinion, A, how good that he thinks the team could be next year, and B, kind of where this program has gone, where now they're a destination for high-quality transfers. BYU going to the Big 12 next year, Utah, he's got 2 Power 5 schools, and then Utah State, who's done some things, and he's going to seriously consider Boise State, it sounds like. So I guess what I'm hearing from you is if you had the chance to add one more player, you would still rather go for another big guy.
Oh, well, if he's good. And when we had Leon Rice in studio, he the one most emphatic thing he said was chemistry, and that's not even debatable. And I think he said it just like that, and he stopped it. He was very emphasized it. Chemistry is the most important, and that's not debatable. So, yeah, just don't go off and get a Mo Silla. I'd like to see Mo Silla leave. Young, if he ended up leaving or getting squeezed out, I got no problem with that. Keene, if he got squeezed out, I got no problem with that. I think the 3 weak links on this team, back to your original point, are Young, Keene, and weak probably isn't the right word. How about unknown variables? because we haven't seen him. You can look at the film on Dawson Baker and see that he's a good basketball player. Young, Keene, and we saw Young a little bit. He's fine. Keene we've not seen it all. Silla, I'm giving up on. I didn't like him the day the press release came out. So this whole, all three of those guys.
I got bad news for you, man. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Well, probably not. You know, I get the logistics and the real life and the complications of getting rid of him. And
it's hard to find a 6'11", 250 guy right now that could give you clog up the middle for 5 minutes a game on defense.
Yeah, stand him and clog. Let him clog up practice for 20 minutes and let him practice against the guy. But I don't know if I ever want to see him in a game. And maybe they can spend some time developing here. But yeah, that's fine. But and Keene would be fine. And Young showed some flashes of brilliance. The bottom line is here, I think I do like what Leon Rice has added to the team as opposed to what's already on the team.
Yeah, no doubt. And you do look at the trade. I mean, you lost Pavle Kuzmanovic, Burke Smith, and Sada and Ganga right now, who gave you essentially next to nothing last year. And I don't know of those three, maybe Sada, but I don't think Burke, Pavle would have had much of a role again this season. And then you add in, three potential starters with maybe one to go. I do want to, hit on, I guess, how this would happen moving forward here in just a second, but we do have to pay a couple of bills, as they say, Mike Prater, and thank a couple of our sponsors. As you can see from the new graphic at the top of the screen, we are broadcasting from the Cutwater Studios. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. I was talking to our friend Andy Rowe at rowpaint.com yesterday. They're working on some cool stuff for the golf tournament, but they're scheduling for those concrete coatings. The concrete coatings 5 times stronger than epoxy. The one-day install, transform the look of your stained oil, back patio or your garage that has the oil stains. They can transform it in one day. Get more information, roepaint.com. Lithia Ford of Boise. They want to buy your used vehicle. You can do what the Raines family did, purchase a new vehicle from them. But for whatever reason, if you don't want to, you can go on in and they will give you a cash offer on the spot from the appraiser. Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out. View their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. Things are happening, Mike Prater, with Bronco Nation News. I don't know if I got to wait like a month to announce this, and I don't know if I'm going to make it that long. But we got some big things happening that I found out was made official earlier this week with Idaho Central Credit Union and BNN on the NIL front. So it's going to be a cool stuff moving forward here, starting in June and moving on. More details to come here in the near future, but. Do what over 550,000 Idahoans have done. Make the switch today. The best in mobile e-branch online banking, Idaho Central Credit Union. And if you're looking for a new job, I got the perfect spot. Transportation Compliance Service. They can help you every step of the way, get into the trucking industry, all the permits and things you need, DOT permit, overweight permit, whether it's the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, this big rig on your screen, they can get you out there on the open road in no time. Check them out, transcompservice.com. Okay, another big debate, Mike Prater. I don't remember how much we talked about it, was the Max Rice situation. Have we dove a ton into this before, the Max Rice scholarship situation? Yeah,
we dove into that. That was our lead story last Thursday.
It was. Okay, but now the fact that they are what do you think's more likely, I guess, at this point? One of the bench players that you mentioned sees the writing on the wall and says, I'm not going to play, and they head out, or and is that what Leon Rice is banking on, or the fact that Dawson Baker is visiting? Is that do you think mentally Leon Rice is now prepared to potentially make this decision and use the trump card here with Max Rice?
No, not at all. I mean, first of all, nothing would surprise me. And if Max and Leon had those kinds of conversations privately, Max and Leon would know how that went out. I would be thoroughly opposed to this. And with all due respect to your beautiful reporting last week, it has absolutely nothing to do with money, in my opinion. It's about human nature, and it's about how you feel about yourself, and it's about doing what's right. And I don't care if you're a basketball player or a janitor. If you do your job and you do it really, really well, and this has happened to me in the last couple of years, I can speak from experience. Do your job, do it really, really well, and then somebody's going to come along and punish you. That's a psyche thing. And if Leon Rice has to go to Max Rice, even if they have good, mature conversations, coach to son or coach to player, father to son, and say it's okay, there's no way that it's okay, because Max Rice now has to explain to everybody that he's a walk-on. Max Rice has to explain to everybody why he lost his scholarship. Max Rice has to hear it from 18 to 20 Mountain West basketball audiences. Walk on, daddy boy, lost your scholarship, that kind of stuff. And that's the psyche. You wake up every morning and your sense of worth is like, I'm a walk-on again based on what I did last year. So It's a psyche thing. We're humans, man. And I don't care how strong he is. That's how we would feel. Maybe not 24/7, but 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. No, leave Max Rice's scholarship alone. This has nothing to do with money.
I would say 2 years ago, if this were the case, maybe. But I think the fact that everyone obviously knows he's a scholarship player. I mean, the dude scored 30 points last year and, had 26 against San Diego State. I tend to think it would be seen the other way. Like, that's a pretty admirable thing that he did to go become a walk-on.
No, I mean, you and I would get that, invested, smart basketball fans who read, study, interpret, and figure things out might get that. But just the emotional, average, everyday Joe sports fan, they're perfectly fine. That's why
how many of those guys are at some random game in Fresno know which player is a scholarship and which one's a walk-on, and who really cares? I mean,
I guarantee you the student section at Fresno State, if Max Rice loses his scholarship for the right reasons in Boise, Idaho, the student section at Fresno State would know that and be all over it. They know everything about these walk-on players. They know what color of underwear Max is wearing, and they make fun of his underwear because it's yellow. So, yeah, they'll figure that stuff out, and they'll be on top of him.
Yeah, but then when Boise State wins by 15, Max Rice can have the final wave as he walks off the court. I mean,
or what if he has that one hiccup because he's just having that 10-minute moment because he's pissed off that he lost his scholarship?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say I know the inside of Max Rice's inner workings or brain or Leon either. I think this is a great debate and topic. I just personally, if it was, like I said, it was a couple years ago, but if it's a 1-year situation like this where you have a chance to add a player that maybe helps you be a part of history, I would think he would be loved in Boise. I think that the fact that would happen, I think Leon Rice and Max, I think would get huge positive reviews, at least in Boise. The fact that you're willing to do this to help the team add a better player to get better, and then if it does what they want it to do and it makes them good enough to, make history this year and win a tournament game, I think that it'd be a storybook story. If he were a sophomore or junior, or if he hadn't, if there was still some debate as to whether or not he was worthy of a scholarship, I would say maybe, but maybe I'm wrong, Mike, but I don't think you could find many people around the Mountain West right now that would say Max Rice doesn't deserve a scholarship. I mean, he's proven that he's so the fact whether he actually has one or not, he's still starting, he's still playing his 30 minutes a game. I don't really know on the court if that really matters that much, at least to me.
On the court, it doesn't. To this basketball team, it doesn't. The end result, it doesn't matter. But again, the ancillary, impact in terms of people coming after him because he lost his scholarship is going to be there. Not every sports fan knows the details why. They just know that Max Rice lost his scholarship. You're not wrong, but I'm thoroughly opposed to that idea because to me, it's a financial decision when this should be a mental health, a mental psyche, a confidence, a competitive. Max Rice is a very confident, somewhat egotistical, and I say that in a good way because you can have a healthy ego. I've said for 30 years that Dirk Cutter is one of the most egotistical men I've ever known, but it's a healthy ego. It's a smart ego. It's a businessman's ego, and I think it's really strong, and I think it's really good, and it works for him. He channels it, and it works for him. And I see Max Rice as the same kind of dude. He's got an ego. He feeds off that. He fuels off that. But it's good for him and it works for him and he handles it and channels it the right way. And I just want that mind to be fresh. And I want him to go out there with the confidence to play 30 minutes a game, 35 minutes a game if he has to, and just knowing he's a scholarship player because he deserves to be a scholarship player.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting debate. You're not wrong. I agree with everything you're saying. I could see it from the other perspective as well. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see what actually happens here if they decide to go that route. One commenter says here, Max can smile and say, yeah, I'm a millionaire's kid. Jordan Morales says Max has that edge that he often turns back on the haters, not worried about his play either way. Perry says you're underestimating Max's moxie.
I'm not underestimating Max's moxie. I just told you that Max's moxie is massive. And part of that is the mental confidence. And part of that is waking up and knowing you're the man. And part of that is waking up and knowing that you have a scholarship. And, maybe Max Rice can't handle it. I just think it would be a bad idea. I would be thoroughly opposed to it. And I think there would be a time where he starts wondering about that. And I guarantee you, fans in different arenas across this country or across the Mountain West would know that and get on him. And maybe he feeds off that. Maybe that's good for him. Max Rice can feed off the bad guy. He's that kind of guy. But he's got to have the tools in his mind to make that happen. And leave the kid's scholarship alone.
Jordan says the herd at Utah State will know.
Oh, yes. Yes, they will.
Josh says all I want is an NCAA tournament win.
I wanted that last year.
Perry says we need a super team, not a super team. They want they want to focus on the team aspect, I guess, more than necessarily having the best players.
I think right now Leon Rice is going after the best players, regardless of position, so he can build his super team. I don't understand the difference between the two supers.
Ames says, get your national championship bets in now. So he's thinking super big. Nick says he thinks Max's role will change next year. This kid would basically be a Max replacement. He predicts Max minutes would drop in half. That ain't happening. His minutes are not. Appreciate you watching, Nick, but I don't see his minutes dropping in half. If they were to get this kind of kid, though, I do think 33 minutes for Max Rice could become, or 35 minutes could become 29 or 28. I mean, I think that, and let's be honest, Mike. I mean, they lost 5 of the last 7 games to end the season. I mean, I think fatigue could have played a factor. I mean, they had too many guys.
Absolutely.
We've talked about it. They have to play more guys. So, as I mentioned, if you can have a quality guy that you can throw in there and kind of have 3 guys all get 26, 28 minutes, as opposed to 2 guys needing to play 36, I think that could be a game changer, not only like in individual games, but as the wear and tear of the season wears on.
Depth was more important. I wanted depth and a rim protector on this super team. And I got one. I didn't get the other, and I'd rather have the depth than the rim protector. So I'm very happy with that direction. But under no circumstances do I want Max playing less than 30 minutes a game. Yeah, cut him from 35 to 30. I'm okay with that. That's where the depth comes into play. I need Max Rice on the court with a scholarship 30 minutes a game, period.
Hey, if you're looking for a new dentist, how about Boise Dentistry Co., boisedentistryco.com. 5 locations across the Treasure Valley, full family dentistry at Boise Dentistry Co. They make going to the dentist an enjoyable experience. Check them out. Find a location near you, boisedentistryco.com. United Commercial Insurance, they make business insurance easy. 229-8222. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. Check them out. Quick call, quick visit to their website, unitedcommercialinsurance.com. Could save you hundreds of dollars on your business insurance. Ridley's Family Markets, shop ridleys.com. They got the new app. Go in your phone, download the Ridley's app, and head on into one of their 13 Idaho locations for exclusive savings up to 40% off in some instances. Get more information, and again, find that location near you. Shop Ridley's.com. The Blue and Orange Store, you looking for some new gear? We got to get Mike Prater a blue or an orange shirt. Get out of that red shirt there. They got some great deals at the blueandorange.store.com. Check them out. Free shipping, any order over $40. And if you're in the area, you can go to the Boise Town Square Mall there on the 2nd floor next to the Pro Image and check them out in person. Bousher Real Estate, we just got it confirmed yesterday, Mike, that he is partnering with us as the shirt sponsor for the golf tournament. So nice. you get a Bronco Nation News shirt, and you get the Bousher Real Estate logo on the back this year at the tournament. The number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Bousher Real Estate. No home too big or too small for Matt Bousher and his team. Check him out, bousherrealestate.com. And he will also be, Mike, sponsoring the longest drive. I know that'll be one you'll be competing for, going for the longest drive competition. Now, I brought this up yesterday. Maybe it was with Johnny or Tust, I forget. But what would you make? I know you've had your battles with Leon Rice, Mike Prater, in the past, the good and the bad and some of the columns. What if before the tournament started, we gathered all 135 players around the putting green, and we had a Leon Rice, Mike Prater putting contest?
Bring it on, brother. I would love that. And I love the competition with Leon. I love the dirt dog in Leon. I'm starting to appreciate his basketball program more and more every day. But, anybody that shoots himself in the knee as a kid and puts dirt on it, rubs on it, and walks away tougher is my kind of guy. So, yeah, I think both Leon and I respect each other's battles a little bit. Let's bring it on. That'd be fun. We'll put something on the line.
We got to find something. We'll get our 4 or 5 top celebrities. We'll throw Mike Prater in there, and we will see. Maybe we randomly draw one random participant or something too from the tournament. We do some sort of putting contest, or maybe a quick closest to the target on the driving range, or something to get a little get the juices flowing at 8:30 in the morning before we start. We are giving away the hole-in-one, as we said, and as I mentioned, we announced last week. Leon Rice is confirmed for the tournament. Looking forward to having him out there on June 2nd. We got Tim Duryea, Mike Burns. We mentioned R.J. Keene, Tyson Degenhardt as well. We've added some other I can't quite announce it yet, Mike, but we've added a couple football players as well to the mix. So the afternoon session that's starting to fill up now. If you play in the afternoon, you're going to have a lot of a lot of local football players out there playing in the tournament. So it's going to be bigger and better than last year. And I think I announced this yesterday, but you weren't on the show, Mike. Are you a fan of bacon?
Oh, baby. Bring it on. Yes, sir.
every foursome at the tournament is going to get a bacon bag from Bacon at the tournament. That's our newest addition. We just keep throwing. You get breakfast from Pastry Perfection. You get lunch from Chef Wally and Just Cater It. We got a lot of other surprises along the way. You're going to get all your alcoholic, non-alcoholic beverages taken care of as well. And now each foursome is going to be able to chomp down on some a bacon bag from Bacon.
That's wonderful. Max Rice actually sent us a bag of bacon here at the studio a couple weeks ago because we were harping on him. Oh, Barry Hill and the Bacon Boys. I love that. And it's beautiful bacon and nothing better than bacon in a bag at the first tee at 8 o'clock on a Friday morning.
Well, maybe a Bloody Mary or something would go good with it as well. I don't know. We'll see. But you do have to do the show that day. So yes. I don't know. No, the bacon, you can have as much bacon as you want. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. June 2nd at Timberstone. So don't wait. Get in today. Register. And again, maybe you'll have the chance to see Mike Prater and Leon Rice finally duel it out there.
I would love that.
It kind of started as a joke. It kind of started as a joke, but now we got to make it happen. I think that would be awesome. We'll put some money for charity on the line or something. We'll think of something. That would be awesome. So we'll have to work on that off the air. But Mike, appreciate you for switching up and doing a Wednesday show today. Jay Tuss will be with me tomorrow. I'm going to record Friday's show because I'll be up in Seattle watching the Cardinals-Mariners series. But
nice.
Going to talk NIL and the collective with Joe Nickel and some other things as well on Friday's show. But Jay Tuss will join me tomorrow, and then you and me and Johnny and a couple of guys have a cool announcement next week that we are excited about as well. That maybe gonna next week. Stay tuned for next week. We got a cool announcement. Gonna have some fun. Maybe help some folks find the perfect Mother's Day gift. Mike Prater providing Mother's Day gifts. I never thought that would be something we'd say together.
Oh, I can charm the mothers, BJ. I can charm the mothers.
Thanks, everybody, for commenting. Sorry we didn't get to all your comments, but have a great rest of your day. And we'll be back with Jay Tuss tomorrow, 9 a.m. Listen today, 3 to 6. Prater, Johnny, JP, Bob, the whole game. Idaho Sports Talk, 95.3 FM, 1350 AM. The Ticket. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, Bronco Nation News. Talk.